Hello, and welcome to today's Milestone 2 group podcast. First, to get started, let me just introduce our group briefly here, and I do want to apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. First, we have Shaquan Davis, Carlos Crida, Clay Anthony, Jolene Anderson, and Ashlyn DeVue, and of course myself, Rachel Bingham, as group coordinator. Now that you have met our group, I just want to explain a bit about our group concept, which is finding talent. There are different avenues our group has researched showing how finding talent has become an easier discovery within our world today, or possibly a bit more challenging depending on your access to the internet. Finding talent has become easier with the use of technology. Using websites such as YouTube, which is, of course, as we all know, very commonly used. There is also Vimeo, Kickstarter, SoundCloud, Model Mayhem, Facebook, Twitter, and IMDb Pro. These are just a few of some of the many websites that are out there, and I'm not going to go into any detail explaining what their use is for, just because my group members have already explained what their use is for and how they can help young rookie talent get noticed a lot more easily than they can otherwise. So continuing on, all of these websites have made finding talent so much easier and efficient for producers, directors, recording artists, and other young rookie talent. On the other hand, there are still those who may not have as much internet access and still really need to use those public places such as cafes, libraries, and small shops, which can be used, which can allow musicians or dancers to bring their act to town, providing that the business or organization allows them to perform there. This is not used, it is still used, I guess, within our world today, but it just prevents the rookie talent from getting noticed maybe as quickly as they would otherwise if they were able to use some of the websites I mentioned previously. Because of the technology factor, finding talent is no longer solely based on the famous saying that it's about who you know or being in the right place at the right time. Unless you prefer, to just do the cafe approach, quote, to say, it may be a bit harder for you, but anyways, as you can see, our group members have found tons of ways that our culture is allowing talent to be seen using tools such as the internet. The internet can even show young rookie talent where they can go to perform and possibly get noticed. It's not easy, but yet at the same time it is easy. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this little podcast intro production. I hope that you stay tuned next week for more exciting information. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Shaquan Davis, and the topic of discussion is finding talent. Finding talent in this decade is so much easier than before the internet started to flourish. The internet provides easy access to talented individuals. It doesn't solely depend on being in the right place at the right time. Although these platforms still exist, such as public performance at competitions, open mic nights, recitals, plays, and so on, YouTube is a great platform that allows talented individuals to showcase their skills in singing, dancing, cooking, acting, designing, and even technical skills with program usage and fixing things. Vimeo also allows you to upload videos to share your work. If a person gets a certain amount of subscribers and hits on their video, professionals start to notice them. so Vimeo is a pretty good site. Now, Kickstarter is another platform you can showcase your talents. The site is mostly used to raise funding for projects in categories such as art,
I can't believe my Kickstarter
comic
project
books,
reached its
dance,
goal in only 8
film,
hours.
and
I'll take you through the
a
process
lot of
of setting up
professionals
a
go there
project
to look
and
for
compare
professional,
Kickstarter versus
talented people. SoundCloud is an audio platform that musicians post their work to, which is awesome. And when they get multiple hits, a lot of professionals seek them out as well. Model Mayhem is another site that showcases actors, models, photographers, fashion designers. So thank you.
So one of the new tools that everyone seems to be using, or a lot of the industry professionals seem to be using, is a little tool called IMDb Pro Casting Tools. Basically, what this is you post a project online, and people who are either in the area or potential actors and actresses are able to see this list, go to it, activate it, and then apply for it. So I'm going to walk you through it. First, I'm going to show you, basically this is the project. It's going to ask you to create it at first, and then it'll take you to this page right here. On this page, basically what this is, it's just asks you the basic information, the project title, if it's a feature, if it's a short, if you're going to have a union, non-union, what date, the description of it, the location, all of that. You fill all that information out, post it up, save it, and then it's active for anybody to go out and take a look at. The next thing that we're looking at here, basically, this is for roles. So you fill out the character's name, the character type, the description of the character. You go through, obviously if it's a male or female role, the age. It gets pretty detailed in the description, so that people who fit this description ultimately will be able to see this role, say, hey, this works perfectly for me, apply for it. You'll have your page, you'll have their page, and you'll be able to look at it, see, if this person fits more or less what you're looking for. Really and truly, it really gets rid of the need of having a physical casting call and having to go through so many people that may or may not be what you're looking for. The next thing we're going to is through casting notices. So this is actually for the talent to go online, look at some casting calls that have been developed by other individuals, casting directors, and apply for these. You can also refine the search and actually go through and look for casting calls that are more local. So say in your hometown. If there's a casting call there, you can click on the link and fill in that information, and it'll pull up everything around you so that you're not having to go too far looking for something. Now, whenever you apply for these roles, you're going to want to create an IMDb page. Basically, that IMDb page is what you're looking at there. It has your picture, it has all of your information. It's basically what you look at whenever you go onto IMDb and look at your favorite stars. It's their page, it's their breakdown, it shows you all of their videos, all their photos. And in essence, that's basically it. But like I said, this is really taking casting and talent search into a whole other level.
Fanfiction as a tool to recruit talent. First off, some of you may ask, what is fanfiction? To you, I must ask in turn, have you been living under a rock? Well, fan fiction is roughly defined as any creative work that is derivative of an existing fictional property, often with changes to the source material for experimental what-if scenarios. For instance, if you were to write a version of Romeo and Juliet where they don't die and live happily ever after, that's fan fiction. Like all things, though, fan fiction can be done right and done wrong. Unfortunately, because the majority of fanfic writers are inexperienced and don't have much practice or teachings in their craft, most fanfiction is of poor quality and to infamous degrees. So this begs the question, why pull from these creators in the first place? Why not leave it to the professionals in their fields, the Steven Spielbergs, Ken Levines, and Lauren Faust's? Well, because Sturgeon's Law is in full effect here. For the 90% of fan-created content that is bad, the remaining 10% is really, really, really good. Writer and journalist James Bowe actually makes a strong case in his article In the Defense of Fanfiction, saying that not only would he appreciate the fanfics of his work, but that he actually got his start writing Doctor Who fanfiction. He said that writers, like other artists, often begin by imitating those who influence them before branching out into their own unique styles. Neil Gaiman, one of the best writers of our time, actually wrote A Study in Emerald, a crossover piece between the world's greatest detective and the horrors of H.P. Lovecraft. Gaiman didn't profit from this. It was just a labor of love, like all fanfiction. So how can this help us find new talent? Well, fanfiction is scattered across the web, but a way to narrow it down is to look at the publishers for fanfiction.net, the largest repository of fanfiction of the internet. Of course, there's also the less specialized but more open DeviantArt, which not only has great stories, but also drawings and sketches. Lastly, YouTube itself has a place to played a host to a number of fan film productions. With this new field, publishers will have more people to draw from here on out.
Finding talent in 2014. There are many ways that you can find talent nowadays, such as dancing, singing, writing. Most of those talents can be found publicly through events such as open mics, talent shows, things of that nature. One of my favorites is open mic. It is a very amazing event that you can attend to perform or just to listen. It allows people to show their talents and get noticed sometimes depending on who's in the crowd. And it also just gives people the chance to be free and express themselves through whatever it is they love to do. Another way talent is found in the new era is through YouTube or any social media. YouTube mainly is for people who like to vlog with videos and music that they want to put up and to show people. And sometimes they get noticed, sometimes they don't. But it's another great way to get yourself out there. As long as you have promotion, everything is fine. Which brings me to the topic of Twitter. Twitter is one of the most known websites for promotion as far as social media. It takes nothing to create an event, post it on Twitter, have enough followers, and it's pretty much known. And then there's Facebook as to where you create an event, and then there's networking for everyone and anyone who's available or who's willing to network with you and who's interested also. And that wraps up my podcast. Thank you for listening.